Was Legani Chesikalo, maybe Bado the Maamar Medish, the Maamar Medish, the Legani, the Gnuni. The Shaila is that the Pasuk in Shirashirim is being tired. The Indian of 2 days, if it's going on Matan Torah, or it's going on Binyan Mishkan. And Kved Hashem Molis Mishkan. But the Nekuda is that it was the first time that there was this Galus Elokus, Ashras Shechina, and Elam Hazar. So the Pasuk is Mamshalit that the Chosin came to the Kala and the Gan. So the Pashtus is Elam Hazar, the Chodet Zachidish that there was Ashras Elokus Lamata. Told them the first time there was the Me'elam Layar the Shechina Lamata Miyud, the fact that this Galus Elokus Ba'elam L'chor Zachidish. So Vash did Legani. Legani the Mashmos is the Gnuni that it was already his Gan. It was already a place that was his Mokim Dira. So dem steht in dem Medrash that Takal Mokim Shei Ikri Batchila, the Iker Shechina B'Tachleina Mesel, the Tchila B'Shas Abriya, the Iker Shechina, the Primis Elokus was B'Tachleina, was Ne'elam Hazar. That's why it says Legani Lignuni, that Lechatchila Elam Hazar was already the Eibishter's Gan. It wasn't a Chiddush, the fact that he came B'Shas Matan Torah or Binyan Mishkan, but it was bringing it back to the way it was, that Tchila Sabriya. Charkach, in the Odom Rishon Adichet, it's a da, Silkas Shechina Maris L'Rekia. Charkach V'dei Shlach is Sh'ovra Tzivui, Avayinis Al Kashchina M'Rekia L'Rekia, Ad L'Rekia Ashvi. Charkach means that they were Merachik L'Kus from Elamis. Charkach bought Tzadikim Avesa Elam. And they started the Avesa of many tzaddikim. Not all tzaddikim had ashpa on being mekarev alakus developed. It was tzaddikim that they were themselves tired of Yidden, but they weren't meshana, they weren't payil that there should be this galas alakus ba'elam. Tzaddikim which are Avesa elam so bluf getanim velt, and that was from Avram Avinu, which they were reidus ashchina merikia ashvi, u'mayla matam merikia l'rekia achba ashvi shu meish rabbeinu b'chol ashvin chavivin, v'heretz ashchina merikia alef la'aretz. And the Indian of Meish Rabbeinu, which was the Shvi, which hears the Shechina Merikia Aleph to Lamata Elam Hazar Gashmi, Zu Haisa Kavanah Shti Shechina Makom Sheikra Batchil. The Kavanah L'Chatchila is not that there should be a Galas Elokus, there should be a Shras Elokus in Ruchnis of Elam Hazar and Elam Masayenim. The Kavanah is Lashes Leis Barech Dire B'Tachtenim. There was the Silika Shechina Adi Chatoim, and each chet was Merachik Elokus more from Elam Hazar. The Kavanah Sabriyam L'Chatchila Asavak Lish Baruch Lisa Dire B'Tachtenim. There should be this Galas Elokus involved in Elam Hazar. And thus is Nishlam Govan through Meisha Cholashvin Chavivin that he was Durgefir the Ikar Kavana. He brought the Shechina the Durgefir the Kavana to bring the Shechina back to Elam Hazal Makom Sheikra Batchila. Sheyachzer Li is Ikar Shechina Batachtein. Oh, now Meisha Rabbeinu, that was the Aschola Seinin of being Mamshech L'Kusen Veld that started through Meisha Rabbeinu. That was Matan Torah, the bit like Zera, that Yenim should be Yerdu Lamata. But then the Shloma Seinin, that's the Vedas Bnei Yisrael Mesha Kol HaDeiris. To uftan the Indian from Ashras Elokus Lamata make a dirbe tachtein. Zeh ma shekos of Yishkinu la'adoleh. She tzadikim was b'shteit the arbet from tzadikim. The Rebbe says Rebbe Amich kulam tzadikim. That's even the parshas the message is going on tzadikim amish. But the Rebbe teaches always that the koyach of the tzadikim every yid has nitzas. Moshe Rabbeinu should be careful. The koyach of the tzadikim is jeder yid. The Amich kulam tzadikim has the in was b'shteit sein arbet and was b'shteit sein the tafkid. In Yonah v'avidosmu v'yishkinu la'adoleh. Then b'shteit aveda v'yid to be mashkin shechina lamata in Elam Hazar. Hainu lashes dir le'izbar b'tachtein. So that's the what's musbar in this chelik of the Maamar, that the Kavanah Sabriya is the fact that Ikar Shechina Tenemes because the Kavanah L'Chatchila is the whole Tachas Kavanah Sabriya is the Sabbath Kadosh Baruch Hu leads to the Rebbe Tachtein, and through Chatoim atam this Misal given, and then b'shteit aveda v'yid to uftan there should be the Rebbe Tachtein is Galas Olakus Ikar Shechina Lamata in Elam Hazar. Durch was tut man auf the Indian of Dire B'Tachtein. So the Eskapi v'Eshapchas Etrach. Was besteht der Aveda, which is Mamshech. Ikar Shechina B'Tachtein. Also an Aveda which has to do with Afghan Elam Hazar. The Aveda of that's been of Avaz Hashem and Yiras Hashem. That's in the Avon Elam Masayenim too. And that's not the Aveda, but tut auf the Indian of Dire Lashes Leis Bar Dire B'Tachtein. The Kavanah is there should be Galas Elokus Lamata in Elam Hazar, and through which Aveda Mamshech Elokus in Elam Hazar also an Aveda which is Shaykh is Dafke Tachtein. That's the Aveda v'Skafia v'Eshapchas Etrach. There should be Sitra Achra. And that is Keif Zayin. And not only to be kaifet to break the Sitra Achra, but to be mahapechit, that it should be a Dir Leis Baruch. Shadei Zeh, through the Aveda v'Skafi v'Eshapchas Sitra Achra, is Talki according to K'Shubricha b'Chol Ha'amin. So in this Lashon, Tzitn Zer, is Skafi Sitra Achra, is Talki according to K'Shubricha b'Chol Ha'amin, is Merum is the Nekuda is, the Aveda is, be mahapech the Cheshach Ha'elam, to make the Elam Hazar, the Artin Ferran clip of Sitra Achra, to be mahapech this world, where it's a makam of Cheshach, a makam of clip of Sitra Achra, and to make this world a Dira, and through the Aveda of Skafi Sitra Achra, your Mamshech, the Kavanah is Dira Leis Baruch, there should be as Galas Elokus Ba'elam. And was for a Dargan Elokus vert Nimshach, what Dira is Latz Musik. The Eibishter himself, the Etzem of Elokus, should be Lamata. So that's what he brings in the Zayir, that through the Aveda of Skafi v'Eshapchas Sitra Achra, the Zayir is Talki according to K'Shubricha b'Chol Ha'amin. It touches up in the Maamar, v'hainu, according to K'Shubricha b'Chol Ha'amin b'Shabbos. It's not just saying that there should be Isgalus through Iskaf Vishapcha, it'll be Isgalus Lukus Ba'ilam, will be in all elements. The Kavana is the Vasfara Start Gili. So Azar Start Gili, which is Bechulu Amin B'Shavet. Azar Start according to Kuchubrichu, which the Gabi him, all elements of B'Shavet. That means that he's in Gansen Mereimam from the Chiluke Dargis, from the Inyanim of Akbala and Sir, that there's an element. And that's the Darga of Seva Kalam. That's one thing. So the Lashon according to Kuchubrichu B'Chul Amin brings out that it's the air, which is the Gabi Im Kol Amin B'Shavet. And Vasfara Eifen, this air is Ma'aseh V'Stalik according to Kuchubrichu, that is the Eifen of V'Stalik. And Vasfara Eifen is Nimshach this air in Welt, and a Eifen that is Mereimam of Welt. It means the Ein Sof Kamei is Nimshach Lamata. That the Rebbe is Mefaret and Maamar earlier. Behind according to Kuchubrichu B'Chul Amin B'Shavet, Eifen Shal Istalik, who Gile Eir Aseva Kolamin, that means the air which is higher than Elamis, Shehu B'Chol Elam is B'Shavet. So that's in them Bashtei, the call is the Kaveda of Yid, the Aveda of Iskafi, the Kavana Bechlolis is last day is the Rebdachtein. Durch was tut man das? Du der Aveda of Iskafi is Habche, but durch der Aveda wird Nimshach, the Erin Savaseve Kalam, means a Lekus which is Muvdal, Shalei Lefiar Chaylims. So now the Fiedger is Mamshich, that does is Echet, was man sagt, man this in it. Kavana Sabri is lastly is Baruch Dira Dafka Elam Hazim. And the Aveda durch was is Mamshich, a Lekus is Dafka through Iskafi Sitrach, Iskafi Sitrach Klipa. We see that when they get to the Mikdash, where was the Shloime Inyan of Amshachas Elokus Lamat? Even though B'chol was Matan Torah, but the Shloime Inyan, where there was the Inyan of Ikar Shechin Metachtein, was in the Mishkan. And in the Mishkan, we're going to see that in Vaz Bashteit, the Nikud of the Mishkan is as the Aved of Iskafis Etrachra, which through that your Mamshech Erin Saf Hasev V'Kolam. That's what he's going to be. V'Zav V'Asel L'Midrash Shchanti B'Seichem. That where was the Shchanti B'Seichem? B'Mishkan Mikdash. But B'Seichem Ugamtik Maamar Azal B'Seichem Echad V'Echad Mi'Yisrael. It means the Mishkan was the Mokim Ba'elam, where there was the Gila of Gershon of Tachtein. But Bekeach the Mishkan, every never state of every Yid. That B'Seichem B'Seichem Echad Echad Mi'Yisrael, Shein Yonam Hu, Shein Mashkinim, Loshna Pasek V'Yishkan Olad Eleh, Shechin Oselamad. So, Lechem Mishkan and Mikdash, Shein Yonam Hu Lasis V'Shechante, the Inyan of the Mishkan and Mikdash is Uftan dem Inyan, from the Kavana Sabriya. Lasis the Yizar of Tachtein, and that's why we are going to see, mainly two pratim he brings in Maamar Tafshin Yud. And two central things when they get to the Mishkan and Mikdash, we see this Aveda of Skafi Sitra Achra and Yistalki according to Kuchubrichu. That's what that is bringing. That it's not just the Parshat Devarim Penigla, the Nukuda of building a Mishkan is. There should be a place in this world, this cloud is from Yidden of the world. So you need to have a place in the world where there should be be able to be Yirah Kol Schurcha. The Mishkan, them, the Kavana Sabri is last days where they're with and this Kavana is durchgeführt geworden through the Mishkan. And Behem Shech Lezeh every Yid. To be mashlim that the entire world should be a dira every yid through B'Keich of the Mishkan has to do this Aveda B'Nafshe and B'Chalka Ba'ila. So in the Mishkan we're going to see how it's expressed this Aveda of Lashas Leis Bara Dira Tachtein. It's Hapcha Sitra Achra and the Salki Kor Tishbrichu. So das hebt dann sagen Melchem Mishkan B'Mikdash Mishkan Shenyan Mulasis V'Shechanti Ha'Yikra V'Dosam B'Karbanos Ukteirus. Kaloshin Raza the Kurban Eilad Raza the Insaf. The Rebbe is not a fire but what's the Nekuda of Karbanis and Ketores? It's basically taking in Yonim, Karbanis taking a behemoth, taking the Nefesh Bahamas, taking the Yonim of Sitra Achra Klippe, Cheshecha, the behemoth Shebenefesh Adam, there's the behemoth Shebe'ilam, and that to be my little Lukus. That's Iskafi V'Sachra Sachrikim, then the behemoth, is the Seir of Agabe HaMizbeach, and Raza the Kurban Eila, the Raza the Insof, that the Aved of Iskafi Sitra Achra being Mahapech and Nefesh Bahamas, of taking a behemoth Shebe'ilam and elevating it to Lukus, and being burning the behemoth, the Eish Shalamayla and the Eish of Abbas Hashem, that's the Aveda V'Skafi Sitrachra. Through this Aveda, that reaches Raza the Kurban Eila Raza the Insof. This Aveda of taking a behemoth, taking a Skafi Sitrachra clip and being kaifet, being mahapechit, to Abbas Hashem, that's Eila ad Raza the Insof. And then that's the first thing. The Gamash and Achsruch Lefani Shamatim and Aser Seni durch them Vertes Nimshach Lamatim. So you have two in Yan. The Aveda is to take the behemoth Shabbat, take a Sitrachra and a Skafi Sitrachra, and to be Maile, the Shleimus of a Skafi Sitrachra is like it's Mudgish in Kovetz Karbanis to take it and to be saved if the behemoth al Eish shall Gabi HaMizbeach and the Eish of Abbas Hashem shall have a Yudke, and that through that thus is Me'er Bizin Raza the Insof. You Maile the behemoth until Raza the Insof, and Behem Shech Lezeh is Me'er the Eibish the Nachasruch shall Maile the Amshach al Kus Lamata. Nachasruch Lefani Shamatim and Aser Tzeni the Amshach of Insof Lamata and Welt. That's the Ein Zach. When you get to the Mishkan, that in Yoni was the Lashon the Maamar is Ikar Aveda was Aveda Karbanos. So that's when we see in the Mishkan that Ikar Inyan is Skafi Sitra Achra, and through that is Yisalki Kor Tishvicha B'Chol Ha'amin. Al Derech Zeh, you see it also another central thing in the Mishkan. When they get to the Etzem Binyan HaMishkan. L'chein Hoya HaMishkan Bonei Me'atzi Shittim. What's the dig atzi shittim? We say medrash shittim loshen shtus. Figure was Maamar that shtus means that it's shtus is loshen hatoya. That there's the derech hamitzua, the derech of reason, derech haishar, derech hapiseichel, and shtus is that there's a hatoya shaleke derech hamitzua, not api derech haseichel. And this is the shtus dolu umazeh and the shtus the kedusha. And you see from the Mishnah was built from atzi shittim dafka why? Because the kavana is zum haper sein shtus of elam hazeh, sitrachere klippe, which is hepech, which is yeshes shalea piseichel. Lamata man aseichel to haper that into shtus the kedusha. Was besteht aveda lapich shtus ha'elam v'lasis mizeh krash shel mishkan. So that's merumas in the Vatsa Shittim. Alter, so if you give Maamar there that the Lashon Pasuk as a kroshim lamishkan. Keresh also is meramis to this Indian of iskafia sitrachra and being mahapich the inyanim nemuchim of ilam hazeh. And das iber machen zu Kedusha. Das that when they get to also when they get to keresh and sheker. That hine keresh eisi is sheker. It's gonna say weiter. Keresh eisi is sheker. Oh, Commission Farish Baruch Mem Shchamaim is is kufreshin mit Teves keresh reims mal inyanim lamaila vinyanim aveda sada. Basically that the inyanim have to do with klippim sitrachra and the sitr dulumazeh, and in the Meram is this Indian of taking inyanim yoelam inyanim of shtus dulumazeh und ze davon immer machen in Kedusha. Adei she'esim mishakra elam krashen lamishkan shezen nasim as shittim lashon shtus. Ziyamot is nasim nitzavim ve'emdim kinin amudim that in was through this aveda dafke through taking sheker elam, taking inyanim of lumas, taking inyanim of tachne shetach lamate imem, and through the aveda v'skafe v'shapche mis zemahapech and make them akedi to kedusha durch them vert am shavas al koslamata bizna efen kinin nasim nitzavim atzi shitim emdim lashon amudim hamachabre mailo mato mailach nasim kayach. Basically the dafke through this aveda. Through the Aveda Vinyanim Nailim Avavayir itself, not the Aveda be Mahapech the Behemoth Shabadam, not the Behemoth of Iskaf, Sitra Achru, Klip of Sheker, of Shtus. So then you're Mamshech and Yadam Sharp Elafiyar Chayla. And it's, you're not Mamshech the ultimate thing stuff, and therefore there's not going to be the ultimate chibur between Maila and Matam, the Volta and Lukus. Davke through the Aveda of Iskaf, Sitra Achru, Davke through the Aveda of taking Inyan Elam Hazah, Yanam of Shtus Lumazah. And them being Mahapech the Shtus Kedusha, through them is a Mamshech that there should be Dirleis Barbatech, which is the Yichud of Maila and Matam. Which is an asset that Rebbe's Meisef Nachavar, that's in them, but state the Tachas Kavana is not doing the Aveda Stamas in Inyanim Nailim, but doing the Aveda with Inyanim Nemuchim, with Inyanim of Shtus Dulumas, Inyanim of Klibus Sitrachar. Dem liegt dazu Nachazach, that in was for a and different, if they to turn the Aveda, what type of, say, what darf sein, was for a Tnu is needed in the Nefesh to do this Aveda with Skafis Sitrachar, is an asset is Shtus Tikdush. The Aveda Shamal Metam Vedas. A person does the Aveda in a way that everything is it's according to reason, according to how much it suits him. The kayetze b'zeh piseichel, how much it's right for him to do the aveda, but it doesn't go beyond his limitations, doesn't go beyond reason, beyond cheshbeinis. Yamot kenen shuftan this aveda v'skafis etrachra and this hapcha. The aveda of being mahapach shtus dulumas. B'chtei zum mahapach sein shtus dulumas to take the yonam achinu muchem, to take the yonam of his nefesh bahamas. Und ze mahapach sein nikdusha das darf needs the aveda of l'mayla mitam v'das. There's a way that Shem should be without Akbala, the Seichel, the Tamvedas, Lamaila Mana Seichel. Yeah, so what's the Bechol? We have three pratim. First he brings the Kavana. The Kavana is Lashes Leis Barat Dirib Tachtenim. Wie tut man der Aveda through being Mahapach Shtus Dulumaze, the Shtus of Welt, the Nidrike Sache Welt, and to be Mahapach them into Kedusha. That's the zweite Sache. And that's Merumas in the two, and that's Merumas. So that you see when they get to the Mishkan that it's Sai Atzi Shittim Eimdim. Because the Flemen in Yonish Tzai Karbonis, that is the Dafka taking the Behema Gabem Mizbeach, and side Indian of Atzi Shittim and Kroshim. And then there was most of another prat that in Vos Farah Eifen, that was an David and Eifen of Lamaila Mitam Vedas. Shtus Tikdusha. Not limited, not based on reason Nagbal and Cheshbon. Yeah, there was Maamar the Maamar in different Biyurim, two Biyurim, why is Dafka Negei and David Lamaila Mitam Vedas. We'll see the way there was Mavar here. Now he's already being Maisif when they get to this Nekuda. That has to be an Eifen of Lamaila Mitam Vedas. The feed gives him Var Beprati is this Prat. Al-Derech, like you're just saying the Hemshech Advar. Al-Derech, like you said before, when he speaks this Indian that Aveda is to take the Shtus Dulumazeh, Skafis Etrachra, Shtus Dulumazeh, and be Mahapachet and be Maili to Kedusha. So he's Mavar, he says the Kol V'Sivin, Skafis Etrachra, Yisal Kor Tzhiprich B'Cholam, and the Aveda is Skafis Etrachra, Yom Hamshech Enes Avasei V'Kolam. Then he's Mavar the Gmois Bepratis. He brings the Indian of Karbonis Bardichis, and he's Mavar the Indian of Atzishittim Bardichis, Shtus Dulumazeh, Shtus Kedusha, the Aveda of Sheker and Keresh. He's Mavar Al-Derech Zeh when he speaks this next prat, After speaking that Aveda is a skafis trachra, he speaks about this nekuda that Aveda has to be with a tnua of lamayla mitam v'das, beyond cheshbenis. So then he's mevar beprati, he brings this nekuda of tzivas Hashem. That's the hemshech hadvar. Mevar ba'maymer shaveda zu nasas ad Yisrael. This Aveda, what's the ikar tnua? That's by Yidden. That's because of that gives them the charge to do this Aveda. That lechein nikraim b'shem tzivas Hashem. What's the nekuda of an army? So, okay, the Rebbe is mevar a different prat. The nekuda of an army is the first thing is that the nekuda of a soldier. Every year is the Eibishter soldiers. What's the nekuda of a soldier? That he doesn't. If a soldier is he's ready to fight only in a place that's going to be masim that he's not going to get hurt. He's going to go with cheshbenis. And go with cheshbenis, that's nicht kein soldat. Cheshbenis is that he's a regular citizen that does things that's not going to. A soldier is that without beyond any cheshbenis, his Indian is to durchführen the heroes of the mefakte al Muhammad. Without any cheshbenis, he doesn't think about any dangers. His Indian is one thing, just to durchführen to win the war. No other cheshbenis are included. So this nekuda of avodah of lamayla mitam v'das, that's the nekuda of itself. So then he's mamshich levar in atzava who areihu shal yodem yitzim b'mulchama l'natzeach hamulchama. Tzava is verbunden mit hamulchama. What's the nekuda of tzava? Meged b'mulchama. Oh, and this is the da'hib to reden the nekuda of mulchama and nitzachon hamulchama. Means in what vifos negea this Indian of lastly is better did b'tachteinim that it's the Indian of nitzachon hamulchama. So can zayin saying here is being mefared this nekuda. There is Indian of the Eibishter wants lastly is better did b'tachteinim. In order to explain this and how much he's ready to give away for the sake of this that it's in of Muhammad and it's in of Nitzachon Muhammad. That's it. It says that there's two ifan in Muhammad. There's one if in Muhammad lish l'shalov lovers buzz that the king wants to be marchib malchusi. That's for a certain cheshbon, and that Muhammad is not going to go out b'lisham akbalis in order to win that Muhammad. That Muhammad is in order to gain a certain gain in order to be marchib malchusi. So he's not going to lose. The Muhammad is going to take is going to risk. He's not going to take the risk in order to. If the revach is going to be a smaller revach, then there's different type of Muhammad. The Muhammad is not in order lish l'shalov v'lovas baz laharchim malchusi. It's negeya that the Ratzon HaMelech should be menatzeach. The Inyanim zon druge wird werden wie Ervil. The Natzeach is a menagid. It's a different Inyan. The figure was Maamar Barichis. Lahitzi Nitzchayne. That the Melech of Yeshes, but the figure was a Melech, which him is negeya, the Inyan of Em is negeya the Inyan. Is negeya that there should be the Nitzachim Emes ala Sheker. That there should be that there's a Sheker which is menagid to them. His Inyan Negei Melchama is not in order to be marchib his malchus. In order there should be the Nitzachim of his true ideals. They should be menatzeach over the menagid. And that Inyan of Nitzachim of the Emes over Sheker, that's a Melchama, that's the Inyan which is negeya to him in primius nafshe. Beyond any other cheshbon. That's the deepest Inyan that the Melech has in his nefesh is lenatzeach as a menagid that the Emes should be menatzeach over the Sheker. He's married from the Sif Yudal from the Hemshech. But what's negel Inyan is their word. Haridem lamatim l'chusad arish Inyan Nitzachim. That he should be the menatzeach, this nekuda that azevi erhal, his ratz or his das or his ideals, they should be menatzeach over the menagid. That's negeh la melech b'yesur b'yes. That's negeh and pnimius etzanafsh. Acha to the extent afilu eitzis she'otz raveisov v'otzer gamu afilu azalcha eitzis which otz raveisov mideirideiris and otzer gamu she'im yikorim kol kach. Not only minut this nish but a marda meisam afilu. That means they're higher than gili bechlal. It's the melech's most personal treasures. For this Indian, Allah Akbalas and Allah Cheshben is very nisbal. Even in Yanam Hashem, mitzad the nature of these things. They're things that are not things up for use. Not only they're not for use, they're not even made to show anybody. It's the Melech's most primius dikaitzris. That's primius nafshe. Ava became for Nisach Muhammad that goes even deeper than this area in his nefesh where there is negea these eitzris and it's peseach umevazves eitzris seil. It's not tamazeh as a gita vek the eitzris. He gives it away a bizbas on cheshbenis. Means he gives not he's not going to make cheshbenis of in order for this place. Let's say you have a soldier that he's going to for those soldiers that are on that front and they're doing dvarim and for them he's going to give his eitzris gilds. Shaking the soldiers that are doing a more not such a serious front, so for them he's going to give more cheaper eitzers. He's mevazes eitzers on cheshbenis. That's an earlier sif in this nekuda. Mevazes eitzer seilu. V'neisna eitzri is the pkidei achayil. He gives this to the pkidei achayil anshe atzava. Now there is in the nimshal. Tzibus havai kedei l'nasei l'chum. So there is in the nimshal that for the tzachim for the milei kavan of last days started with the mevatel the menagid, the elam hazeh which is menagid to lukus. So when it says in the kedusha lukus, that should be the volatile variance. So the battle the menagid to lukus. So the skala for the remes no lukus b'chol elam kulei. This in is again atzmi lukus, deeper than all other inyanim. And for this in is mivazve is the tifste inyanim asadan lukus. The inyanim of eitzir shalomayim. Punkt is in the marshal. The melech is mivazve says eitzir sakmusim. And it gives no way la'anshi achayil for the mitzach namalcham as al derech zeh. And in the nimshol there's inyanim of an eitzir lamayim. Inyanim as even eitzir in the marshal is bahalt and ezach, which are not they're not things for show. It's the melech's personal inyanim. So there's in the nimshol lamayim there's inyanim of an eitzir, inyanim of a lukus which are higher than Geder Gilui, higher than his galus. And for the sake of Nitzach HaMelchama, the Melech Git Avek, to the Anshe Achayil, Divas Tuan in the Melchama, Divas Tuan in the Arbet, he gives away his Inyanim Achine Lama Vasadan Elokus, in order to be Menatzeach HaMelchama. So da Haltamir, this is where he starts off, in this part of the Hemshech, where Haltamir is. So the Friedrich Rebbe from Sif Yud Aleph, Sif Yud Beis, basically, he's the whole Arichas in the Hemshech is to explain the Gedel HaFlo of the Eitzer L'mayla. Was far in Yadam Alakus, the Eibusher is mevazviz and gives to the Anshe Achayil in order to be Menatzeach HaMelchama. That's the darg of Eitzer. So in order to understand the Eitzer L'mayla, so he's makti, Mashikosu B'Zera B'Tikun Ezayar, steht in Zayar Azay, der Erin so, for L'mayla, and the Ketz L'mata, den Tachlis. Messiah, that brings the kids, Messiah, Chakach Ba'Hemshech, she'inin L'mayla, den Ketz, inin Eitzer, inin of L'mata, den Tachlis, inin of Gilui. The Spashas V'Gilui in Sof, L'mata Mata. Eitzer is, I select Eitzer in the marshals in Yanim Kumusim and Elam, in Yanim which are higher than Gilui. So there is Messiah in the Hemshech later, that L'mayla den Ketz, which is the Pchin of Alakus, which is higher than Gilui, that's the Pchin of the Eitzer. How we're going to see in the Hemshech. So the Bosi the Eitzer is L'mayla den Ketz. But L'hovin bar Chovo ba'amkus, Gaidli inin L'mayla den Ketz, which is the inin Eitzer, is Mevaber Prakam HaKedmim. Ubiyurav, yes, the Rebbe's Biyurim. Mevaber Prakam HaKedmim and the Biyurim. Geidele Inyan de Lamata Adin Tachlis. But das ist der Inyan von Erdin Sof, der Tnues heißt Spashtus, Vagili Lamata. The Inyan of Lamata Adin Tachlis is the Inyan of Spashtus Vigili. Mish Spashtus Lamata Adin Tachlis. The Rebbe says in the code of what he explains in the Inyan before, the Inyan of Lamata Adin Tachlis. Shu Inyan de Lamata Adin Tachlis. Shu Inyan de Lamata Adin Tachlis, even Shabakon Mak Mishu, Ad Ba'amata Mata, even Shal Erdin Sof. Shemizem Bum Geidele Inyan, Shemizat Kana Tegen, the Adat Prakam Hashem. I don't know the Maamar in this Hanoch. Like upon what's in Mavar earlier? This is the get to the Hemshech Inyan of Yisrael here. In order to understand Bar Chava Ba'amkas in of L'mayla Mala Adin Ketz is if the Friedrich Rebbe Frier Maktim the Geidel Inyan of L'mata Adin Tachlis. So just the Rebbe said the Nekuda. What's in Kudomata Adin Tachlis? Erin Sof Commission is Pashat L'mata. Ba'adin Tachlis. But even Shekol Mak Mishuad Ba'amata Mata. Even Shalerin Sof. We even called him in the Sifrim earlier, and the way the Rebbe is Mefaret in the Maamar before. He's Mefaret 3 Inyan of the Inyan of L'mata Adin Tachlis. Really 49. First of all, there's Inyan of Erin Sof. Erin Sof itself says there's the Etzem, which is higher than Air, then there's the Eir of Elikus, there's Galus of Elikus. The Inyan Agili that there's no Elikus. And the Eir of Elikus, there's Galus of Elikus is Ein Sof. The Rebbe's Meirach here, that itself, the Eir is Ein Sof, that's already an Inyan Niflamayit. Because why is the Eir Ein Sof? Because the Eir is Mein Amar. The Eir is as if there's difference between Eir and Shefa. Shefa is that the Mashpia is Mashpia, the Inyan, not that the way it is in the Etzem, but as they state as Bizgalis. He's mitzams to the Indian that it should be massing to the Makabel. It is that the Indian is Mizgal the Kameshu. The way the Indian is in the Etzem, he's Mizgal. He's not doesn't modify the Gili Behesim to Makabel. As Zevi the Indian is Batzmusay, does state Bizpasha, does state Bizgalis. So Eid itself is already Indian inflamed. The Ebishter is Ein Sof, the Etzem is Ein Sof, and the Ein Sof and the Maamar, the Eid is Mein Amar. The Gizgalis, the Gizgalis Ein Sof of the Etzem, that's Mizgal in there. So when he said that's in fact they say Eid Ein Sof, that's already Indian inflamed. We're talking about the Eir Mein Amar, that's Indian Nifla B'Yeser. But as Meisif, so that's Eir Ein Sof itself brings out that flow Dela B'Yeser, that the Eir is Mein Amar. But Dochlei Dik the Sunach word that which brings out the Geidla Indian of the Ein Sof of the Eir, that is Lamata Mata Adin Tachlis. And to explain that flow of Lamata Mata Adin Tachlis, the Rebbe brings 3 pratim. Lamata Mata Adin Tachlis. Number 1 is that not only the Eir himself is Ein Sof, that this Galus Elukus is Ein Sof, even the way the Eid is Mahava Elam is V'Nivraim, he's Peil and Elam is V'Nivraim in a Eifen of Ein Sof. Not only he himself is Ein Sof, but he's Peil in Elam is V'Nivraim, the Indian of Ein Sof. This Havas Elam is his idea. And the Eifen, the way there is this Havas idea is an Eifen that this Havas contains within itself inyan of bligvul. That's one thing that he speaks in the Maamar. So that's already a flaw in his It's not only the Eid himself as Ein Sof, but he's pale in Velt. B'shas he's Mahava Velt, so he's pale in Velt in Yadam of Bligvul. He speaks that he's Mahava Sphiris, he's Mahava Sphiris in Ketz. The Eifan Eis Havas is not Eifan of Bligvul. Not only the Eid itself is Bligvul, but the Sphiris Jarnas Havim Etzader are Neshavin is in the Eifan of Bligvul. So his Ein Sof is not only within himself, also the Pu'ula, which is Nifal al Yadi, is also an Eifan of Bligvul. And there is a figure that speaks about it in Elamis, if even biz in Elamis Biyah, this Havas is an Eifan of Bligvul, that there's an of Bligvul in Elamis. So that's already a Davar Neisa. Besides for the fact that the Gufa is Ein Sof Betachlis, also the B'shas there's Mahava Velt, he's pale in Velt, which is not the he's pale, he's Mahava Velt, the Metzias. And that Metzias, Ein Sof is also pale on the Metzias, there should be an of Bligvul in the Metzias Elam. And he speaks another prat that there's, in the Shtas you have Lamata Mata, there's Elam Biyah, there's in Elam Hazaguf, he's Meirich, when you get to the Vinidrik, the Vinidrik, there's the Alamas Vestedem in Elam Haza. There's this mention was can sagen that Mir Leo Elvani Asisini, the Klippa Pari, and the Spashas Alakus is Lamata Mata, that Va'ata Machayas Kulan, that the Chayas Alakus is Meir for Nirgash, Biz in the Nidrik Sedaris, at Lamata Adin Takas. That's also a flaw in his It's not only the Eid himself as Ein Sof, but the Eid is pale and his Mizgale is Machaya and Eifan of Gilui, the Elokus is Nirgash Biz Lamatamata. There's a Gilui Elokus Biz Bimkeim as Achinu Muchim. So that brings out another Davar Nesim of the Ein Sof of the Eir, that is Gilui is Nirgash, Elokus is Nirgash, Lamatamata Adin Takas. The third thing the Friedrich says in the Maamar that not only the Eir is Meir for Nirgash Lamatamata, but Vu the Eir Kumtan, even the lowest dargers the Eir is Mispashit and is Mechaya, the Eir is not Mishtan. Eir bleibt an Eifan von Ein Sof. That's the three that he speaks. First of all, we're speaking about there's the Eid himself. Then there's the fact that he's mispashit lamata mata adin tachlis. Mata mata adin tachlis is nachavert. Besides for the fact that the Erguf is Ein Sof, he's what's versteht that is lamata mata adin tachlis, that is pay lamata mata. That there's an bleak vol in lamata mata. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the Eid himself is meir and mechaye biz lamata mata adin tachlis. And even the way the Eid is meir and mechaye lamata mata adin tachlis, the Eid is not mishtan. That's even clearly the Kudesh is 6 Maamar before. But thus out, Retman out to the Indian of this Galus Ein Sof. The Eid is Ein Sof, and we're saying that his Ein Sof is not true of Gilev is Pashtus Bizla Matamata. The fact that this Havas Elamis Adea is in a way that there's a bleak vol Elamis, so that's a result of the Ein Sof expresses himself in that. The Ein Sof is not a true of his Amos, that the Ein Sof expresses himself Begili in Elamis, that he's pale in bleak vol in Elamis. There's the fact that Va'ata Machayas Kulan, that there's of his Galas Alakus, Chayas Alaki, that's Nimshach Bizla Matamata. So that's all, there's an expression of Alakus, Bizla Matamata. And there's the third that even even the way the Eid is Lamatamata, the Eid is not Mishtan. But it's all the Tnua of this Spashtus Vigilia Insa. That is a Spashtus Vigilia is an Eifan of Insa. Mashikal Ma'ala Ma'ala Adin Ketz is a Vakerti Tnua. Ma'ala Ma'ala Ketz is not the fact that the Insa is in the Tnua of expressing himself and being made a Mizgal. In the Elamis, it's a Tnua of Vakerti. Ma'ala Ma'ala Ketz is the Tnua Sahelim, which is in the Eid Insa. Vakerti Tnua. Let's get in Zen. Atem maschel vayer in der Meile hat den Ketz. Der versteht bis ist ja? Atem maschel vayer in der Meile hat den Ketz, so in der Meile in der Matte den Tachs. Das nach hecher der in. Und sein genau so in der der Meile hat den Ketz. Ein gamze nächsten Landschatz so. Nicht stammen sie eine Sinn der Gilbelvad, aber even schon Bisbus. Angeschbeines. שמזה גוף המובן עד כמה נגיע, הנה אני צריך ממלחמה, שזה נגיע למלך בעצמי. The fact that the melech is מבזבז. The עניין המכין העולם מן הלכוס, das weißt du ist, how much in of nitzach na Muhammad aved of durchführen der Kavana is nege and the etzem melech. Var per 15 achrische bier in der Mathematik in Tachl sagt der Friedrich Rabase. Was der Loschen Friedrich Rabase meint, just see the Loschen Friedrich Rabase meint. Oh, the lesson is like this. You have the Friedrich Rabbe's members, because I just to see. Oh, you have it. It says, "Kshem she'erin sof lo mata mata." It says, "Kshem she'erin sof lo mata mata v'espashas v'gilui ad in shir mispar klal." Yeah, and the tnu of espashas and gilui, in the of ein sof. The k'mei kenu erin sof l'mayla ad in ketz b'chenas hela me'er shebela macher hela. So what's the Fiedler is saying? The same way. What's the Kashem? I'm saying the way. This the way to be. This wir verstehen, wie der Bild touches it in the Sefer Erchem, this in the Kodesh here. But the Rebbe stellt sich an der Kashem. Where is it? Es ist Kashem, she nidl mata at in Tachos over in Sof. In the Kamekin, in the Mala at in Ketzam Gam Kemerin Sof. It says, well, there I'm a vor, ben nidl mata at in Tachos. Shazam Shach Lamata Mata. Punkt, as if even get in the Lamata at in Tachos. What's the good Lamata in Tachos? That is that in of Ein Sof is not only the Eid himself is Ein Sof, but is Nimshach. Lamata mata, the fact that the Eid is Nimshach in Welt, or that is Peil in Welt, but there is Nimshach in was besteht Lamata mata in Tachlis. That is Nimshach in Welt, there is Nimshach Lamata, that can make it move him in the Mala in Ketz, Shazamash Eid in Sof, Nimshach Tzitzich, Lamala in Ketz. That is, in other words, as there is no Chassidus, this is the Rebbe's Lashon, remember but that's the way the Rebbe says it there. But I'm saying is you have a beer in Chassidus that what's the chiluk between Eretz Sof? That's the is in most places I think that what's the pshat Eretz Sof Lamala Adin Ketz that Lamata Adin Tachlis is that the Eretz Sof like what actually that the Eretz in Sof and is made a mispashet Lamata Mata. So there's one meaning is that the Eretz is made a mispashet Lamata Mata involved. But then he says something else. The Viful the Eretz is made a mispashet Lamata Mata, but the Eretz in Sof alone is Merema Venivda Legani from Eretz. The Ma'ala Adiketz is that the Eid himself is Shalei Be'er higher than Elis. The Ma'ala Adiketz. Even though we're saying that he's Lamata Mata Adin Tachlas, that the Ein Sof of the Eid is made of Mashpia on Welt. There's an oblique vol in Elimis. There's an Indian of Chayes Alakis. There's certain expressions of Ein Sof in Elimis. Like the three problems the Fiedler brought before. That's the fact there's no oblique vol in Ishtashalis. That's Neveh Mitzad, there's Spashtas the Ein Sof Lamata. And there's an Akud of Gila Lakos Biz Lamata Mata, that even in the Mekemes Achina Muchim, there's Vata Machayes Kulam. And then there's the even the way Simshach Lamata is not Mishtan. So there is the expression of Ein Sof in Welt. Ein Sof in Tzadatz is Maamar, higher than the whole Gather of Elmas, higher than the whole, before the Fnet. Then there is the fact that then there's Elmas, there's Tzimtzum and there's Elmas. And there's the expression of Ein Sof is Mispashet and is Misgal in Elmas. So Abdem Zakman, on one hand we're saying Ein Sof is Mispashet and Misgal in Elmas. Lamata Mata Aditachlis. Ein Sof Lamata Adiketz means that however much the Ein Sof is expressed in Lamata Mata, Vifla is made Lamata Mata doesn't express, and Shalei, the Ein Sof himself is Shalei better higher than how much is expressed in Elamis. Vifla is Gal in Elamis, but the Ein Sof Alein is Shalei better higher, Blikvol higher than the way is Misgal in Elamis. So then, when we're saying Ein Sof Lamata Ketz, it's not that there's a Tnu and a Sevis of Helen in Ein Sof. But there is the Ein Sof, the fact that it's Mashpia in Elamis, and then there's the fact that the Ein Sof in Tzadatzmai is higher than the way it's expressed in Elamis. Ein Sof Alein is Shalei better higher than Elamis. So the Rebbe is saying, nicht das der Teich, der Friedrich Rebbe redet. Friedrich Rebbe redet der zweite Teich. Friedrich Rebbe is saying, Punkt, as if we speak about the Eid of Lamata Adin Tachlis. Redt man nicht wegen der Eid allein. Man redt the fact that the Eid is Nimshach and is Nispashet and Mashpia. And that he's Nimshach to a lower place, he's Nimshach Lamata Mata. Out there is that when you say the Lashon Lamayla Adin Ketz, Punkt, as if Lamata Mata Adin Tachlis means that he extends himself to a lower phase, lower than his matzav, than his natural matzav, let's say. The Eid is up inside that means Ein Sof Tachlis. And he's nimshach lamata mata. Out there, as we say lamala adin ketz, the pshat is that the Ein Sof is misale tzitzich to hecher from the mitzvah side, higher than his natural place of Ein Sof. That's the nekudah beer. That's a different type of beer than the regular beer than you touch regularly lamala adin ketz. Usually, there's a different beer lamala adin ketz. I'm saying legabi this Indian, there's one a from the lamala adin ketz is benigo to the mata adin tachlis to the not kishim, not the same way lamata adin tachlis al deras lamala adin ketz. Saying something else. Even though the Eid is mispashet and made lamata mata, but wie se herzach the Ein Sof in Welt, kommt es nicht to the Ein Sof of the Eid the way the Eid Guf is Ein Sof. Is peil tak in Welt, but wie viel is peil in Welt? That's how much is nirgash lachen at Tzimtzum. And shalei be'erech blik vol klar like the Ein Sof of the Eid the way it's made lifnei at Tzimtzum. Atikar is like Tzimtzum b'derech Silam. Das Teich Rebbe Fiedler starts off with the Siv kshem she'eid Ein Sof lamata mata. Bispashas v'gili k'meikin or sel mala adin ketz. So what's the kshem k'meikin? It's if the pshat would be that even though he's lamata mata adin tachlis, but the Eid himself like techer from elamis adin ketz, then it's not kishem shu lamata mata k'mei ken is lamayla mayla. Then it's a different word. Then the verse should be even though he's lamata mata adin tachlis, Eid himself is adat mishalei be'erechecher. Das ist emes. There's a tzimtzum derech silik. A vifol der Eid himself is nirgash mispashet in Welt. Kommt es nicht to the Indian of Ein Sof the way it is made and the Eid gufe lifnat tzimtzum. But then the lashon what gedar zan anders. Not kshem she'ez lamata mata k'mei ken he's lamayla mayla. then it's, even though he's lamata mata, still the Eid itself, the Eid itself alein, bleibt Shalei be'erech higher than his gili and elamis. So I've done the figure is not the besandish. The same way we say b'neged lamata mata, that the pshat is that b'neisiv is that the Eid himself is ein sof. He's also nimshach. He's also, even the way he lowers himself down from his matzav, so to speak. And he's nimshach and velt is an eifin of blik vol, so it's in of dam shach sa'er lamata, out there's a lamayla is dam shach sa'er, the aliyah sa'er lamayla. Does that understand? What's the pshat? Aliyah sa'er lamayla higher than ein sof, higher than er. That's the erste Sache. See, that's the Adgosh. Where is it? And in was besteht ist es? Kmeiken, wo wir nicht einmal den Ketz, was in Sof nimshach tzitzich, lamay den Ketz. You don't have it over there. You're using different alpha, yeah? You're using different Ketz. Yeah. Ella shu be'eifin shel mayla ve'ili ve'helim. Das geht mit deinem verstehen, but it's an eifin of mayla ve'ili ve'helim. In of Psalms, the Rebbe is going to touch on behemshach. Shu be'helim acher helim ve'ili acher ili. Be'bezei fanim v'ur b'mayr b'chinas heder be'heder agilis. Lashon fidik Rebbe is helim acher helim, ili acher ili, heder be'heder agili. What's this lashon helim acher helim? First of all, the meret enisel mayla dikes this word. That it's the Indian of Mail of Ili Behel. That means, according to the regular being, says that the Eid himself is Ein Sof. So the Pshat is, the Eid itself is Kameshu, and he's Shalei Berach higher than Vifel Ebert Ariz Gebrach Neilins. Here we're saying that the Eid is Mis'ali, is Nimshach, to not only the Eid himself is Ein Sof, but there's an Indian which is higher than Eid, which the Eid is Mis'ali to higher Dar. So where is that in was Paratnu Zetzach, the Nekuda of, was the Eid Tzitzach Zehecher from Indian Eid. That's the in of Helim V'ili. The fact that the Eid is Mis'alim, that it comes in the Eifin of Helim, that if he was speaking to the Pratim, that's connected to the fact that the Eid is Mis'alit, or higher than the Eid, the way it is Mis'alatzim. The in of Helim the fact that the Eid is Mis'alim, that he comes in Ilmis in the way of Helim, that's Neveah from the fact that the Eid is Shaychis to Inyanim which are higher than Geder Eid. If the way you understand regularly is, so it's not, the in of Malam is not the Tnu of his Almas. Not the fact that the Eid is Mis'alim. It's not an additional Tnu of his Almas in there. The Eid is higher than Elam. It's not that the Eid comes in the Eifin of Helim. Here the Rebbe is in the fact that the Eid is Mis'alim, Nimshach, Tzitzach, so Hecher for the meaning of Eid, that's connected to the fact that the Eid comes in the Eifin of his Almas. This Almas Eid is connected to the Aliyah Sa'ir, to the fact that the Eid is connected to the Etzim, which is higher than Gilu. Let's get him a fire saying. And also the lashon helam acher helam v'ila acher ili. Obviously, what's this kefil lashon helam acher helam v'ila acher ili? Bebeizeh fanik v'ur b'Maamar b'chinas heder ha'er v'heder agil. We'll see later what's this kefil heder ha'er v'heder agil. But also, we're talking about the helam b'shtetin then that he's higher than er. Heder ha'er v'heder agil, higher than inin of er.
What's the reason for Maamar?
Exactly, but that's a chiddush than the regular tesh. The Rebbe is saying usually helam la'lam in the ketz is not that this heder ha'er, not that the er is mis'alim. We're talking about there is air and stuff, and we're being metired. The state of this air is that it's shlei be'erach ta'ilus. Here we're saying that it's a tnu and isevis in there, that it's mis'al l'mayla. So that's connected to the fact that the air is mis'al. The air naturally is in a state of gilu. This amos, the fact that the air comes in the eifin of helim, this amos air, that's not the natural state, so to speak, of the air. And that's connected to the fact that the air hatzu ta'am mit ha'inin von etzim, which is higher than it. And that's also the kefil lashon helam acher helam and ila acher ili. What's the kefil lashon helam acher helam ila acher ili? Let's see at the end he brings. Look at just the last lashon here. V'zeh ma shadiyini shehelam acher helam muvayin the mala adin ketz. He says like this is just the last line. The last line of this of test. Zem move the shlomayla b'ilei adin kes. The commission itself begilei fnatzin some ashmal kolamtzias. In a chayk hu atzme mislabish behelam acher helam b'ilei acher ili. Ad shenase helam air. So in hedra er begam hedra agili. This real touches it that the part if it would just say stamas that the air is helam or ilui. So that's like the regular touching says that the mila the ketz is that the air itself mitzad atzme is shalei be'er higher than elams. That's the natural state of the air, that he's behelam the gabi. Even though you're saying that he's mispashed lamata mata, but belief of the air, Shiur and the air, that's not Mizgal involved. But Friedrich of the Reis bringing not that the air mitzad atzmi shalei be'er, that the air hatzatam et in which is lamaila from the inin air. So that's lashon helam acher helam, an additional helam, not the natural state of the air that is behelam from elements. That the air comes in the eifin of his almos. The fact that the air comes in the eifin of his almos, that's helam acher helam, and that has to do with ili acher ili, higher than not just the ili or air mitzad atzmi. Ili acher ili is the fact that the air has an ili which is higher than the inin air. That's the lashon helam acher helam and ili acher ili. But just helam would mean that the air mitzad atzma is an eifin of helam. I feel I'm at the pashas. Mata adin tachlis. But the air in sub mitzad atzma is not misgal and meir involved. So he's behelam. Why is he behelam? Because air in sub mitzad atzma is beyond the fact that he's able to be meir v'nirgash and elements. Helam acher helam v'la reis bringing that ma'ala the ketz is that the air is nimshach darga which is higher than the get regular. So which true and air is connected to the fact that the air has to do with a darga which is higher than gili. That's that the air comes in the eifin of his almos. So that's the helam acher helam, not the natural state of the air that he's behelam the gabe elements. That he comes in the eifin of his almos, that he's mailu himself in the bush. And that's connected to ili acher ili, an ili which is higher than the natural ili of the air itself. So the tnu of his almos does hatzutan mit dem bringt sich heraus the fact that the air is connected to the etzem which is lamayla migeder gili. So we didn't mean as it.
Are we going to explain the words with helam acher ili what's the difference in helam ili?
No, that's the helam. Helam acher helam is that the air comes bis almos. The fact that the air comes in the eifin of his almos, the air is mehavin is nimshach and velt in a way of his almos. So lamata tachlis is that the air is nimtza and velt in a way of his pashas v'gilim. It's meir in velt in elam is the ein sof of there. That's the lamata tachlis. Is that he's nimshach and elam is in the eifin of his almos. The fact that the air is nimshach and his almos in them shtek, the fact that the air is connected to the etzem which is higher than gilim. And the helam acher helam is connected to the ili acher ili. Chtzenius, you say that this almost is a yirid in there, that he comes and he's hiding himself. Here we're saying fakir. The fact that the air comes in the eifin of his almos, that expresses the fact that the air is the ilia air that is higher than the gedra gil.
Why is it telling us? What does it mean? What do you mean kishem based on the fact that we're masber?
I'm saying is if with that's the feedback of his lashon. We're going to see what the hechel refers to here. But the feedback of his lashon is kishem shein is lamata din tachlis k'may king lamata din ket.
I'm saying, but why is this similar to how we're masber and lamata?
The same way, there's the air is ein sof. What's lamata din tachlis? That he lowers himself to a lower place. So when you say that's lamata, what's lamayla mayla? That he elevates himself to lamayla mayla. Not the lamayla mayla is not that the air in sub legabe elam is shalei be'erachayir. Then it's not b'shavet to the pshat of lamata ditachlis. Lamata ditachlis means that he lowers himself and he's nimtza and he's mispashet and pale and velt. It's not only the air, the ein sof is contained within the air, but it also affects elam and evraim in kamei fan. So al derez lamayla means that he's nimshach to higher than the inin of air. If lamayla means that the air is lamayla than elam is, then it's not the same. Lamayla is not the same touch as lamata. Same way we're saying when you get to lamata, that is the air being nimshach lamata, al derez lamayla is the air being nimshach lamayla. So the fire for taichin was made lamayla I think it's. Where is that expressed? This in lamayla and the fact that there's this almos air. The air mitzad atzmei, if air would only have a shaykhas, the Indian of air would be gili hamor. The natural Indian of air gili hamor, then it wouldn't be shaykhas. The air should come in of his almos. The fact that the air is able to come and be nimshach in a way that he hides himself, he's going to be fired to pratim in of his almos. That's neveh mitzad. The fact that the air is connected to the etzem, which is higher than the Indian agili. This almos air is mitzad the fact that the air is connected to the etzem, which is higher than gili. So the helam acher helam is connected to ila acher ili. I'm just saying this the taich. That's the taich helam acher helam, and ila acher ili. He wants to bring out that it's an ila, not just the ma'ala the tachlis is not just expressing the bleakful of the air. That it's a higher ila than the ila of air mitzadatz. Punkt that's also b'shavat. Punkt is mata the tachlis is an ila neisef to the musik of air itself. There's Ein Sof, and the Mata the entire is an Ilay Noisef to the Musik of Ein Sof, Ein Sof and Tadatzmi. Al Derech Zed, the Mala the Ketz, is an Ilay Noisef to the Musik of Ein Sof.
The Ilay Noisef is that it's Poil and Velvet.
That is higher than the Inin of Ein. No, that is the Ein.
So the Ilay Noisef and Mata and Tachlis, what does it mean, the Ilay Noisef?
No, we're saying two things. The Ein is Ein Sof, and not on a Dover Noisef, not only the Ein Sof is Ein Sof, But the fact that he's pale and velt in Obligvo, that's a flaw in his surface in the very fact that the air is inside. But there was Masman in the Maamar earlier, in Sifit Beis. The fact that the air is not only he himself as inside, but his pale and ilmas of it in itself, that brings out a flaw in his surface in the Obligvo of the air. That brings out that he's inside Be'etzim, that he speaks before. So Al-Derev Zel, Ma'ala Din Ketz, is an ill in his surface in the air.
So are they Tolly Zabazah, the way you teach? It's Tolly
What I'm
Zabazah.
saying is you have the Taish Chassidus, no, you have, there is a Taish in the Matamada in Taklis, the same Taish like in Toshin Yud. But the Ma'ala in the Ketz means that the people of Bertis Gal in Velt, the Emes Adatim like Teichad.
Then the Mathematics means also the way so means that
Yeah, Taish is further. The hechrik for this Taish is something else. We'll see what the Rebbe is going to say later. The beer in is the hechrik for this Taish. That the Ma'ala Adin Ketz means that the Eretz Tzitzach, Filka Bezakt is it.
it's not in the way that you teach the Mathematics.
No. This here the Rebbe is going to need the
be the same way.
Yeah, because I'm saying that's verstandig. Even though the Eretz is Nimshach Lamata, the Eretz Adatim is hechrik from Bernis Gal in Velt. And as I state that, the Lamata means that there's the Gilev is Spashas in Velt. However much the Eretz is Misgal and Mispashas in Velt, it doesn't express the ultimate Ein Sof of there. There's Zinsim Der Chsiluk. You see, Zinsim Der Chsiluk, so Lepel, there's Galus Ein Sof in Velt. Vilfos, where there's Gala Ein Sof in Velt, kommt es nicht to the Ein Sof the way it is in there. So, but the Rafika was not the Tveiter Taish. The Lashon Rafika was Kshem, Sheir is Ilmata in Tachlis, and that's the Yisat to explain that we're not dealing with the natural state of the air. We're dealing with the fact that the air comes based Amos. And this Amos air is connected to the Aliyah air, the fact that the air has to do with the Etzim, which is higher than Gedra Gili. Oh, so what's that the hechshich? So that beer in the chutz tzarich that's the Rebbe say. Bishlam in the lamata din tachlis muvan. Here's the hechshich for this stage. Bishlam is in the lamata din tachlis muvan. Versteht man was besteht der uftu. Means the Rebbe the way that Rafika betaches in the Maamar of Furish in Sifit Beis. I'm saying it's not the pshat. You say Erdin Sof, and then in was besteht Ein Sof of there. There's one way you get taish. The lashon is Erdin Sof lamata din kes lamata din tachlis. As I can mention. The air is Ein Sof. In order to explain the protis, the Ein Sof of the air, he gives you two in Yana. Lamata Tachas, Lamata Adiketz. But if he could then come and touch like the regular touch. Lamata Adiketz means there's a spashit Lamata Mata. And then, but second to the Ein Sof of the air himself. So both of these expressions, Lamata Adiketz, Lamata Adiketz, they bring out the Ein Sof, the blikvul of the air. That first of all, it means the word air Ein Sof itself doesn't express to me the milus air. Erin Sof is like Agdom. Erin Sof and was bashtet the blikvul of there, or what expresses, what brings out the flow of the Ein Sof of there. That is the mila. The guys are mata tachas. And on one hand, he's misgale mispashit in a eifin of blikvul, and havifel is mispashit the misgale. It doesn't bring out the Ein Sof of the air himself. Yamat darf nicht teichen wir teichen. Then you don't have to teichen the mila because it means that the air is nimshach tzadar which is hecha from it. But the Friedrich Rebbe in Sifyud Beis and Toshin Yud. When he teaches that Erdin Sof, when the Zer says Erdin Sof, Lamata is not teaching up what Erdin Sof means. Erdin Sof means that the air is made Amar. Figure was married to the air made Amar, and same with the Mar is Ein Sof, the air is Tachas Ein Sof. So Erdin Sof, a Gufa already brings out Tachas Hamayla Bashvach. That the air is Ein Sof, it's air made Amar. Air made Amar, what could be greater than that? The air is made Amar. Lamata Adin Tachlis is Nachazach. So if Lamata Adin Tachlis is Nachazach, Lamata also has to be Nachazach. Because to say that the Erdin itself stays Ein Sof, that the words Erdin Sof itself already bring out that the Erd is Shalei Be'erech Legamri Elamis, that is Tachas Ein Sof. So the way the Fikra is Mevar, the Maamar here, that each Lashon brings out a Shvach Neisef. Say the word Erdin Sof brings out a flaw, the Indian of Ermein Amar, and say the Indian of Lamata Adin Tachas brings out a Nochan Nekoda that is pale, not only Er Alein is Mein Amar, but is pale and Velt in of Ligvul. As Al Derz Lamala Adin Kes, there's a Nochavar. Can't just be the Erbitz Adat Mishulei Berech, because that's already Nichlan the Varting Sof. So that's the Hechach to say the Ma'ala and the Ketz means the Tunu of his alms. That's the Rebbe's Taishi Gir. It's Chudetz Erech Lov and Bishlam in the Lamata Adin Tachas Muvan. Shtar Erin Sof Be'etzem Kumei Shul Lifnat Tzimtz. In Erin Sof was bashit that flow from Lamata Adin Tachas. B'neisef to the fact that the Erin is Ein Sof. Like I said before, if the Taish Lamata Adin Tachas is the period of Ein Sof, it's not the Shayla. But the Fidik Rebbe is not masber like that. If you learn Sifyud Beis, and the Rebbe is Mavar and Tavshan Rav Beis, Erdin Sof itself, the Fidik Rebbe is Meirach to explain, is Mavar there, the flow of the term Erdin Sof Gufa. So when the Zayar says Ein Sof, Zokter, that the Erd is Tachas Ein Sof, Erd Mein Amar. If the Mar is Tachas Ein Sof, so the Erd is Erdin Sof. So was gets so Mater Rav was zugeben. So das versteht man tak. Ein Sof be'etzem, what's that flow of Lamata de Tachlis, beneisive to the fact that the Eid is Ein Sof. Ein Sof be'etzem is a Spasha Samar. Mein Amar. And Kamei live before there's the whole, higher than the whole Musik of Eidus. The Ufta Lamata in Tachlis is that even in Veld, his bleak vol is played. That's a Chiddush Neisa. Not only the Tenu of Ein Sof, in the Tenu of, in Gufa, there's the Gufa is Ein Sof, there's the Etzem, and there's this Galas Etzem. And das is Ein Sof. Even with the Severta Metzias, not as Galas Etzem, there's a Metzias of Elamis, and even there, the Eid is pale that his inyan should be mispashit in Elamis. That's a Chiddush Neisa. Not only the inyan of Ein Sof is mitzad the matzav of Eir, mitzad his mode of being, mitzad Eir, mitzad his Galas Etzem, even in Elamis, his inyan is mispashit. That's already a Davar Neisa. In came moving again, Shnir Shechol Mata. Ache Lamata Iman. Kum to Lamata Mata. She's all Lamata Mata Adin Tachas. The Gabi Hayanonic Vishal Lifnat Simsim means Lamata Mata's. It's Shalei Berach lower than Lifnat Simsim. And Afal Bikain, his bleak vol is Nimshach and Pile, even in a place which Shalei Berach beruchik from it. Versteht man da Flasche is it? Aval Luchura ein Shaykh Levair in Shalmai Lamata Adin Ketz. Was das Echet geht auf Erin Sof. Was besteht der Uftu? Da belavach in the mile metzens. But it's a goof is tachas ein so. So what gets to the mile mile the kids? Can Mao say em share the mile mile the kids? According to the regular type, that the mile the kids is that shlei be'er from elam is does the word ein of allein bringt das alles. We're talking about the etzem commission und das steht wie es galus. Versteht ihr, dass shlei be'er elam is? What's the so was im Vaish in the mile the kids should bringas ili vehelem ha'er und vehelem acher helem I think kids. That is behelam acharelim. That is the fact that the eir is misale to ili, which is higher than the nagili, and that's connected not that the eir is the diuk is not that the eir is be'etzem l'malam and etzem. Thus, for the eir can stehen in eifon from his almas. The inner of his pashtus lamata adin tachlis is mevata the fact that the eir hasn't sich the keich hagili v'his pashtus. Lamata mata, there's able to be mispashtus the nirgash in a place which is detached from there, which is other than there. The inner of lamala adin ketz is that the air can come in and away from his almas, not in a tune of his pashas vigili, but the air can come in and away of his almas, helen. And the fact that the air can come in and away of his almas, that's connected to the ilia air higher than the ilya nagili. So that's already a different type. You know the mala the kids. Malakes should be considered by helen air, by helen mach helen adin kids. Oh, so here this Indian that the air comes to the even of his almas. So then bring the Rebbe Teres Hashem. That there's, let's see what the Rebbe wants with Teres Hashem. We'll see. Omer Friers and Teres Hashem. But business is me verstanden to close in. So Teres Hashem, shenit was bekes Hashem. Dort steht, am Ashkos Bereishis Bar Es, Bereishis Bar Lekimes. Okay, we'll see it from here. Bereishis Bar Lekimes. Bereishis Bereishat Targim Yenis and Bechuchmsa. So in Bereishis. So Bereishis is Chachma. And Chachma is Eis Aleph. Yeah, Aleph Chachma, Chachma is connected to Eis Aleph. So what's the Pshad, Bereishis Bar Lekimesh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lekim, Nis Alim ben Mislabish Ba Aleph. Bereishis is that the Lekim was Mislabish in Eis Aleph. V'achar Shan Shabash Beis Aleph, she's Teves Bereishis, Mislabish Aleph Beis Beis. Bereishis, and remember you have to look at the Lashon of the Baal Shem Tov, the way he touches the whole, the Psukim there. But the Nekuda is that the Lashon of there is that Rechnusi is Baruch, means the Eira Leki was Mislabish in Eis Aleph, and through them is Bara Atzilis, and then the Aleph was Mislabish in Eis Beis, and Bara Elam Adri, and then Beis and Gimel, Biz and Eis Tov. So through Bereishis Bara Lekim Es, through the Slapshus and Es, is Gevarin his Havas. Slapshus Al Beis Beis B'chulu, V'zeo Tevas Es, which goes Bereishis Bara Lekim Es, Shein Eis is Ma'alev Atov, Shein Slabish Bara Aleph was Bara Atzilis. V'char kach adei Slapshus V'helem, Achar Helem Beis Beis, Bara Elam Adri. V'char kach Slabish Beis Gimel Adis Tov, so in Tov Helom is Tov Almin, Shenivru Adei Slapshus Be'es. Tov Almin. That's the slapshus of the Eis, Aleph Biz and Eis Tov. And then he's Mesef more, V'char kach Elamatim is it, Slabish Ed B'helem Achar Helem, At Shenivru Toyu V'avei V'cheshach Apnisan. Say Amen the clip. So what do we see from here? She calls an Asay Adei Elikim. So in an Agvur about Tzimtzum. So you have the Indian of this Galus Air, that the air comes in Eifin of the air, let's say, is Ein Sof. And there's one Eifin that we in Vasfar Eifin come to run in Welt. One Eifin the air is Nimshach Lamata Mata in a way of Gilivis Pashtus. That it's Meir, V'nirgash, the bleak vol of the air, the Ein Sof of the air. Then you have another eifin. The eir is pale in a eifin of his almos, that he's misalim in Oisius, and he's pale in a eifin of his almos, that the eir doesn't express himself. That Azevi Eres Ein Sof is a Mahavan or is pale in a way that his Ein Sof is expressed bigly, but it's pale in a way that the earth, Dafka through this Amuser, through hiding himself, through not being his God, being a Tnu of Helim, and through them Bertis Havas. And this Havas in a way, there's the Baal Shem Tov says it's Ribi Helamis, it's Aleph, and this Aleph is, and through from the Slapshas and the Helim of the Ernest Aleph, Bertis Matzilus. Then there's the Slapshas of his Aleph and his Beis, and his Beis and his Gimel. It's Ribi Helam, so the eir is, covers himself or hides himself, Helam Acher Helam, and through the business this havas of Elam Esachir Chaykim. So the fact that there was this havas of Tayu, Bavayu, of Chayshach and Klippus, Elam Esnemuchim, as Tetzav, what it is, because the eir is pale and Eifin of his almas. Mitzad the fact that the eir is Mislabish and Eisius, and his bleak vol or his Ein Sof is Bis almas, durch them wird Elam is that are Metzias, which are not Margish, and it's not Nirgash in them, the Gidei Lukus in Elimus. That's Neve because the eir is pale and Eifin of his almas. Yeah, that's stated in the. We'll see in a second what the Rebbe wants to have from this to the Shabbat. I just want to finish off this. We then move on. Does the pshat the Milo be Gidei Atiketz? Does this the Eisfer? Say Nachmal. Usually the pshat is the Milo Atiketz that the eir mitzad atzmei is beyond the Elimus. Here the taich is not that the eir mitzad atzmei is beyond the Elimus. Helim over here means that he's pale and that the eir comes in Eifin of his almas, that he hides himself. And in this group of Eifin of Helim Acher Helim. That's the chiddush attached to Ma'ala and the Ketz, not like the regular attach. Usually it attaches that he's higher than the Ma'alas. Then here the Ma'ala and the Ketz is that he comes in the Eifin of his alms. And the fact that we'll see the prat. Mezemum shel Ma'ala Yuhila Adin Ketz, K'mei she'erin sof b'gili lifnat sins, Eirah Mitzad Atzma is an Eifin of Gili lifnat sins. Acho Ma'ala Kol Amtzias. So that's what's the chiddush of the Erin of the Ma'ala Adin Ketz legabi the Eir the way it is Mitzad Atzma. B'dugmas like Lamata Adin Tachas. The Eir Mitzad Atzma the way it is lifnat sins was an Eifin of Gili. And tachlis agil, acho malakol amtzias. So the eir mitzad atzmei, eir inyan is gili amar. And gili, since the moed is ein sof, so the eir is also ein sof. So it's tachlis agili, acho malakol amtzias. That there's no nisin asmakim to any in of elamis. In yacharkach, the eir comes in a tnua, fakerta tnua of the inan agili. Who atzem is slavish, the eir himself, which mitzad atzmei inyan is gili, and gili neifim, which is no nisin asmakim to any Indian outside of the eir. Tachlis agili, gili neifin of ein sof, is allein kommt an eifin von ilach helam acher helam, v'ila acherid. Hu atzmim mislavish v'helam acher helam v'ila acherid. Ad shenasa helam oir. And there's six pratim in the Indian of helam oir. But you see this word, helam acher helam v'ila acherid. It means that the air is misalim, helam acher helam. And this in of Helam Acher Helam Azay Bechitzein is in of Helam is a Yerid in there. That is Misalim. So Herzach nicht the Ma'alas there. This Dr. Fakir, this in that even though Mitzadatz Minyan is Gil, can come and who Atzmei could come and be Mislavish and Eifin of Helam. That's Neveh, and that's an Ili in there. Was para Helam, was weiter the Helam is, was Hecher is the Ili the fact that the air is Mushish in the Etzem, which is higher than Gili, that's expressed in the fact that the air could come an Eifin of his slapshus in the Eifin of Helam. Acha nasa helam oir, kumeshim avar ba Maamar charka shasilik eir elatzad. Shezau inyan heder eir silik eir v'gam heder agili. Okay, there is the lashon heder eir v'heder agili. But before we get to this, what's hot man dafka v'teres al Hashem tiv? That's the meaning that in order to have a Shabbos, you have to have alamis, and there's many alamis that the Rebbe says in Tanya in Perik Lamed Vav, that in order to have this Shabbos al Hazar Tachten, you have to have a ribi alamis v'esteri. What's the chiddush of Hashem that in order for the Bereshis Bara, in order for it to be this Havas of Shemayim v'Aretz, El Masal Yenim and El Masachlerim, you have to have this Amos and the slapshus of you have to have Tzimtzumim, Shem Elikim. That's the Chadavar Pashat, no? What's the chiddush of Teres of Hashem that? So it could be two pratim. Number one is that Azay, Pashas Kementaichen, that Mitzad Atzmei, not here. The lesson that everybody brings over here is that who atzem is slavish b'helam acher helam. As they can say the word, the mitzad atzmei inyan is gili. The fact that this house is naif and that this helam v'hester abeda ma'nibra, that's mitzad tzimtzum and mitzad kelim. Not that the eir himself is poil and naif of helam v'hester. Not that the eir himself comes in a tnu of helam v'hester. The eir himself inyan is gili amar, but there's kaviyachol davar neisaf kelim or tzimtzum which are mailam there. was lost nicht der Eretz Megal sein. So then, nicht das in von der Meile adikes. Then it's the Indian of we will the Charis bringing that not only the Eretz hasn't sich the Indian from the Spashis Vigilei, the Eretz is also there's an Ilay of the Eretz that is connected to the Etzem. The Eretz expresses the Etzem which is higher than Gilei. In which Tnua Verta Reis gebracht the fact the Etzem which is higher than Gilei, that's that the Eretz is able to be mislavish, can unkommen, who atzme. The Eretz himself, doesn't have to be pale, doesn't have to be present in a way of Ein Sof. This Eretz which is Ein Sof can be present in a way of Helen. That the Goli it's not Ein Sof. We'll see so that Indian, the Etzem factor is Havas Ilmas is that the Helen of Hester does get to Shtareis, that the Eretz himself can stay in a Eifem from Helen. The Pile, there's the musik of there's a Shem Elikim, which is Mailam master that the Nivra shouldn't be margish there. Not that the Eretz is in a Tnu of Helen, of his slapshis there. The Marshal of Hashem of Aesius, this Bash is the musik of Aesius. You say that you're Mabash at Var Seichel and Aesius. What's the Pshat Aesius? It's not a Dover Neisiv which doesn't let the Mekabel to be margish there. The Indian is mislabish, is misamtzim according to the Aesius. Someone's Masber at Var Seichel and Aesius. So there's the Eira Seichel, the way the person understands it is higher than Aesius. And then there is Villa Rizgem, there's Var Seichel, Melubish Mitzuyer through these Aesius. So the Indian, the Var Seichel was Villa Riz bringing, is Melubish, comes Mitzumtzim according to the Aesius. So this Mashlat is Havas Naifan of his Slapshas Alakus. The Slapshas Ruchnisis Baruch. In Aesius, that brings out that the Eir himself comes in the Eifan of Hell, comes in the Eifan of Gvul. Even though the Eir Mitzadatzmi is Ein Sof, but this Eir, which is Ein Sof, is Er Alein Vert Nislabish, and there comes to the Eifan of Gvul, of his almas.
That's through the Aces, they're Kalim, no?
Verstehe, but the Aces are pale that the Eir should be in the Eifan of his almas. You say in a regular, how does Kalim work? The Var Seichel itself is unlimited, just the Aces don't let the Mekabel hear the Teichen, or the Nekudah V'Slapshas of the Var Seichel and Aces is that the Seichel is Mitzumtzim now L'Fierach Aces. What I'm saying is, if the Eir Mitzadatzim is Blikvul, and Yoni is Ein Sof, and the Eir which is Ein Sof, the only way he could be present, he's Ein Sof. So he has to be present in a way of Blikvul. In a way of Gvul, or in a way of Helim, or in a way of, there is not only Gvul, but in a way of Helim, in a way that there's an Smakim to Mitzias, which gives a Smakim to Yeshes, the Eir, that's a stira to the Innover. So then, how is there this? How is the idea Tzimtzum? The Teretz is, the Tzimtzum is spelled that the Mikabel shouldn't be margish there. The Eir Mitzadatzim is Ein Sof. But the Eibishter's Keichag Midas HaGvur, the Alter Rebbe Tanya is L'mayla Mitam V'das, and even though the Eir is Ein Sof, the Midas HaGvur can be pearl that the Nivra shouldn't be margish, the Gil of there. Then it's not the pshat that the Eir himself is present in the Eifan of his alms. The Eir Mitzadatzim Yoni is Ein Sof. The Nivra is Nishav in a way of Yesh because he's not margish, the Ein Sof. There's a Masachol Master that doesn't let him be margish, the Ein Sof. Yamot is nicht the pshat that the Eir himself has nothing to do with the Ilay of the Eir. Well, the Charis breaking that in Vaz state the fact that the Eir has to do with the Etzem, which is higher than Gilui, that the Eir comes in the Eifan of his alms. What's the pshat? So he brings the Teres Abashentiv that this Havos is through the fact that the Eir who Atzme was a slavish in the Eifan of Asis, in the Eifan of Tzimtzum Gvul. In a way that the Eir is Mahave and Azam Esert Eifan, that he could be present not only in Dartmouth was the Herzach Ein Sof, he could be present Dartmouth was Herzach nicht Ein Sof. And the Eir could be pale and Mahave in such a Eifan. Means the Eir's, in order for the Eir to be nirgash, in order for the Eir to be present somewhere, it's lavdafk in a place that was a herzach begoli blikvol, even where the blikvol is based almost, the Eir can stay in the Azam Eifan. And that's the fact that the Eir can come in Azayifin is connected to the fact that the Eir has a tamit in etzem, which is higher than Gedra Gil.
That's what we're saying about Adin Tachlis. Right? That would be.
That's Gil. That's the herzach blikvol.
The way that would be similar to the first way. That something blikvol is Slavish and Kalim.
No, Mata the Tachas, if Yikra speaks before is that the blikvol of the Eir is Meir in Nirgash Lamata. All the Tunu of Gil, that the Eir is Meir and Mizgal Lamata. If Yikra was that's the Meir from the Aces before. That there's a Chayis Elikis in every Nivra. That also that the Mata is a Tunu of his Spashas because the Eir is Meir and Mizgal Lamata. Here they were saying Fakir that the Eir could be Nimtz in the Eifan of Hell. He can be present, not even if you don't sense him. So that's already Eir Mitzadatzmi. I don't want to explain now the Nukud of how that brings out the Ilay of there. I'm just saying the Nukud of the Varim is Eir Mitzadatzmi Yoni is Gilui. So Dartin with the Makabel is not margish there. In a Eifan of Helen, there where the Makabel is not margish there, L'chor the Eir is not present there. It can't stay in the Eifan of his almas. There's even when he could even be an Eifan of Hedra Eir Hedra Gil. And that's because the Eir has to do with the Etzem, which is higher than Gil. But I'm saying is this word, this common problem. I just want to bring up the Gabi Bosi for this word that this havas is not just that the midas hakvur is mailing that the niver is only shmargis in there, but that the reason why there's this havas elam abriya is more yeshes, let's say, than atzilis. From wann stammt es? Because the eir is mahaven as am esert eifin that there should be a niver that shouldn't be margish l'makom. Not because there's a dover the shem elikim which is mitzamtzin that the niver shouldn't be margish there. The eir lechatchila comes in the eifin of his almos. B'shas the eir is mislabish in the eifin of his almos. He's mahava nivra, which doesn't sense there. Which doesn't sense there. That's never. And as I start through, comes under eir. That's one point that you see from Teves.
That's done through the kelim.
Say that. Through eir.
So by Maamar case, no kelim that's no kelim that's making it the earth itself.
The fact that the kelim can be put that the eir can come in the eifin of his almos, everything comes through kelim. So the pile is the. We'll see the pratim in the legabi the tzim to eir of legal erek. I'm saying but the fact that the eir is nasar to know. We'll see. There's kama pratim there. I'm just saying one. I'm saying the lashon of Hashem. You're saying it's not. He says that he was mislavish. Saying the lashon is not that the Eis Aleph was mailing him. The lashon of Hashem is that he was Hakadosh Baruch Hu hilbish rechnu yusay b'nislavish ba'aleph. Means the eir came in eifin of eslavshus. The tnu is not that there's an Eis Aleph which doesn't let the nivra be margish. The eir mitzadatz means eir kommt in avek for the eslavshus for almos. That the kudi you don't have in the regular beer and tiny that there's havas at the tzimtzum. Steht das there? That the hell that something should that it's I'm saying more than that. It starts up with the air. It starts up with the air. Not that the keli is mahava according to the gedra keli. The air lechatchila comes in eifin of his almos v'slapshus. That starts up with the air that he comes in eifin of his almos. The lepel the ages are the way the air comes with his almos, but it's something which hates to come inside the air. There's an eifin that the air is pale and a tunu of kili v'spashtus. There's an eifin that the air is pale and an eifin of his almos, an eifin of slapshus.
There's this kasha with the kli, with the aleph.
But here he comes the eifin aleph. He comes the faith and he was there. It says more than that. The Hashem Teves says there, Bar Elikim es that his havos ha'esis was misad slapshas ha'er. He was mahava aleph datov. I think that's the lashon there. You have the lashon there of Hashem Teves. So it's not that there is asis and the asis limited the air according to how much they're able to handle. Mitzad the fact that the air wants to be mahava an eifin of his slapshas, an eifin of his almos. Mitzad that vert asis. And the air is mislavish in the aces. It's verkehrt. It's hebt sich mitzad the air, not mitzad the kid. Where does it say it? Ze bar lakim es. Call aces and we wish it was there. Bar akel adi chachma. Bereish is bar lakim es shemaim shachov is in al that also but the Eibishot bashafen. The chapis it means it's with the fact that the Eibishter is mislavish in Glubush. Okay, that's the one Sache. But the zweite Sache can sein nachher word from them. I think you didn't say the word that there's aces before, but there's one thing is that how do you touch the helm? The helm is that the air is ein sof, the nivra shouldn't be margish there, or the keli is pale on the air that the air should come in eifin of mislavish. That's the dig over here is that the air comes in eifin. Model the mukbul comes in of his almos according to the aces. Zweite Sache is this can sein nachher Sache is that it's also masim here. I want to say like this: there's erin sof, blikvul. Then there is the fact that the air is lamata mata at tachlis, that is mispashet and misgala lamata mata. So that's besides for that flow that the air guf has ein sof, another inyan that is nimshach and mispashet lamata mata and eifin of blikvul. And then there's another inyan, so that's the gili of the air. Then there is the fact that the air is connected to the etzem, which is higher than gili, that's expressed in the tnu of heaven. So, punkt is when you get to lamata mata, why is there the way the figure was mazmur the Maamar before? Lamata mata adi tachlis begins right after tzimtzum hebt on the Indian of his havas and eifin of blikvul. This the code that the invest drinks the blikvul of the air. That is lamata mata adi tachlis. That begins. Why was there this havas of seder shlashlos? In order to express the blikvul of the air. So the Shtalshos brings out the Geidel Hai Spashas Vagili of there. That is Mispashat and is Payel Matamata. So when the figure brings the first stage of his Havas, that's Sphiris. So the first stage of his Havas is Sphiris in Ketz. And if you get a Besal Nidikar Atzilis is also in Obligvol. Biyah is also in Obligvol. Wherever this the Kuta Matamata, the Kavan of Seder Shtalshos is that it should be it should be materialized as on this galavern the mile of the course that the matamata adin tachlis. So there's a fakir. The fact that as he learned that the etzem alakus mitzadatzma is ein sof, believable. Why is there in of helen? In order to make a world, you have to have helen. If not, they wouldn't be able to be able to pass it. Here we're saying something else. The Baal Shem Tov says that from the tchilas hashtashelos, from chinas chachme, his havas milchatchila hebt sich on efen of tzimtzum. It's not you say that Eibush will b'shafen avelt ilam hazeh. There's no other way to create ilam hazeh aside from adi tzimtzum. Lechatchila, what's the kavanah sayis havos that the inyan of alakus should come to the gilui. One of the inyan of alakus is that the air can stay in his almus. The farm milchatchila, the efen as havas milchatchila is given right away in the efen of his almus. When there was havas slabish base aleph is how govern ilam atzilus. It's not only that since ilam hazeh is on nidrik avelt, we have no breda that from islands and there. We want to bring out the kavanah of Seder Shlashlus is to bring out the milas of Ein Sof. So there's a mila that is mispashet and is misgala lematamata. Was bashit lematamata that is bligvul is mispashet and pale and velt in of bligvul. So he touches up with the Maamar from Reishis Shlashlus. So there's that tzimtzum. What's the kavanah primus? Why there was that tzimtzum? It's there in order to express the milas of there. So therefore, lechatchila this havas of spheres and even of spheres and ketz. And then the Atzilus is also in the Blikvul. In every stage of Ishtashalus there's the expression of the Blikvul there. Because that's the Nukud of Ishtashalus, to bring out that this hafla that the air is Lamata Mata Adin Tachas. Oh, there's a fakir. The Indian of Lamata Mata Adin Ketz, the Indian of Helim is not just a default. Because you are in order to be Muzar Mailam Zain, in them Bashteit, in them being Tchareis the Mail of Ein Sof. In was Bashteit the ultimate Mail of Ein Sof, that is not only Mugdar the Getter of Gili, it could also be the Helim. And the fact, and this mile of Ein Sof is expressed, is misgale through Ishtashalus. So lechatchila the efen eis havas is in the efen of his almas of his lavshus neisis. That the Baal Shem Tov redt nicht wie Bosi lechatchila the Teire hebt on reden ze hebt on vernavel. What's the first tnua? Bereishis bar lekemes. Has choles eis havas is all the in of es of esis of his almas. Before we say not in order to shvider to be elam hazah. Has choles eis havas mirishisa is in the efen of es. Atzilus is an aleph, and then next bri is a beis. Bis toiv avayv. So here you see in chiyuvi in the helim. The nekud of helim is not just out of the tzerich in order to create the lamhazid that from hoven the helim. Lechatchila, the whole nekud of seder shtashlus is to express the fact that the ma'ala adin gets. So lechatchila in every stage in his havos, it's the air neifen of his lavshus. You heard the meaning.
How did you use in Baal Shem? Maybe it's to create Baal Tachlis.
Nish das retter dort. It doesn't say over there that in order to get the Lamhazim, therefore, he says Shemayim needed a tzimtzum, and Eretz needed a tzimtzum, and then Toiv Avayu. But he doesn't explain the Inner Rishis as an imtzai in order to get the Lamhazim. The pasuk is being metired. This Seder is Havas Melchatchila.
The end of the beer and Tanya could be the same, but the Gasha and the Teres Baal Shem Tov.
Yeah, not just Tanya clear. The word is in order for the nibur to be a yesh. It doesn't speak the Inyan of Helim as a it's not another, not the Tunu of Elam is another expression of the Ma'il of Ein Sof. In Sheikh Damona, because we want the Nibra to be a Mitzvah of Ne'atzmei, Muslim Ma'il because if it's going to be Gili, the Nibra is going to be bottle. Al Derech then in the Paracommentation, in order for the Nibra to be a Yesh, you have to have Helim. The Baal Shem Tov read this in order for the Nibra to be a Yesh. He doesn't discuss that. Bereishis Bar Lekim Lechatchila des Havas was Mitzad the Tunu of his Amos. Mitzad the Lukus Kaviyot. Mitzad the Lukus, because why? Because the Ma'ale of Lukus is not only expressed in the Tunu of Gilead Blikvol, also the Tunu of his Amos is also that also expresses the Gilead of Lukus. And Nachahechere Gilead Ninover. So the Chatchila the Inna is Havas connected to the Musik of Helim. Huh? That's the it says that there. It says in order to get the Teves, sagt er sie. Chnus Baruch is Chnus Baruch B'Tech is Aleph. Nes Atev Boyu Bara Men is Aleph. Atzil. Chag Nes Atev Beis Bara El Mabri. Chag Chazon Nes Atev Beis Bara El Mislamato. Asher Nes Atev Beis Tov Bara El Mastachtein. Schniger mal das. Sagt nicht alles in Zeit. Saying the Chob, even saying the Aleph Tov, the Aces Shebetera and Yanam of by default. Das ist Aces. Please, ich habe gesagt zwei von Aces. I'm saying just Svares was kann sein in der Minion. I'm saying is saying that he doesn't bring out that it's in order for it to be the Elam Hazar. Sagt, Punkt, dass wie Aleph is Atzilus, and Tov is Elam Hazar Tachtin, Shtach Lamati Man. Sagt das. I'm saying it doesn't verkehrt. According to the beer here, according to the beer verkehrt, every Helam Acher Helam brings out more the Eliaf love there. But das wird das Galen Lukus. So there is a musig yisim mevar the musig of Helam Lichdei Zazana Yesh. Then there is mit was wird er is gebracht. That's also behemshach to the Kavanah Sabri is on this Galaver and let's say she Yavei in Yanav Lukus and Akech Lapel. So Punkt das David in Gilui is Megala the Ein Sof. The Tnur that he's Mahavan even of his Almus. Das ist Bishava Echet that is bringing the Maila Seir. The Maila Maila gets. It doesn't say over here that the Kavanah Sabriya was it should be a tacht and a rednish though. He doesn't speak that. What does he say at the end? Okay. Ten sein, please. Left rachten. We still have to figure that this is some more prat we have to finish off when we get to the scene, but this is Beif and Klali. We Beif and Klali. But the Mashlam sein some prat.